Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to a brand new video on YouTube. My name is Garner and I'm a DJ and producer from France. Today I will show you how I made my latest track, one of my latest track, Take Me Back. It's a collaboration with Mellark Hoonds, a Mexican DJ producer. The track was released on the 4th of June and it was on the Future House Cloud. No wasting time, let's dive into it. So we're here in a session. This track started by a DM on Instagram by Mellark. He sent me a message like, "Hey Matt, I really love what you do. Really love your job. Can I send you some stuff and tell me if we can collaborate together?" I said, "Yeah, okay, why not? Send me and we'll see if we can work together." And he sent me an amazing drop. I think we don't change anything on the drop, just some sound design. For the break, we change everything because to fit the drop perfectly, we change some stuff. For the people who don't know the track, we will listen to it. We will start by the breakdown. So for the breakdown, I start to put a piano, this one. Yep, it's a Nexus piano. So I use the Nexus one. You can use Nexus for all the pianos. All the pianos from Nexus are amazing. At the beginning, there is just a filter on it. On the second part, you have the piano, but a little bit more plucky. Then you have a second piano's coming when the chords are more plucky. It's a dub vision piano. I think I don't change anything. Just like the piano was really cool like this, so I don't change anything. And then I use another one. I use the M1, tweaked a bit. OTT, EQ, reverb, delay, and compressor. For all the process, you will hear it. It's for to make the piano a little bit wider. Then another piano. It's called Cheon, but same as the first one. It's just the rack because the process was good. I don't really like the piano I use, so I changed it by a Serum one. And then some reverse piano to make the piano coming slowly. Okay, then I use some pluck intro and some bass intro. Just some Serum preset for the plug. The second one is just a silent preset, bright plug. Yeah, I think it's just it's directly inside the silent. Some intro bass, and for the intro bass, just yeah, same thing, silent one. And then there is another bass, break bass. There is a sub, the one on top, the one a bit down. And then next is free space to give more ambience. So all together. Nice. Then I had some atmospheres. one single string. Some drone, ambient shots, one reversed, and one straight on the grid. Altogether, it sounds like this. It's just during the break. So for the break, altogether, it sounds like this. Then on the second part of the break, piano more plucky. I just add on the drums like some snaps, some shakers and tambourine to give some groove. So we have here, and the transition like the FX, like some impacts, some sweeps, and also my favorite FX, the jungle. I put the jungle, I think, everywhere in my tracks. Then you have this. Then goes to the build-up. So on the build-up, you have some stabs to give more tensions. Disco stabs. I had some build-up snares. Here some little fills. Check it. Then for the break bass, and then I had a pitch bend on those break bass. I think same thing on the piano, just same note. Then you have some risers, more build-up snares, but it's just like snares, normal snares, to put some more energy. And I think on the effects, same thing, some down filters, yeah, impact, up filters and risers. Then I will show you the drop. So for the drop, I use the kick from Mellark. But I was like, I really like the kick, but I want something like more punchy, more bouncy. So I had this one. Then we have the claps. I like to layer the claps because like this you can create your own one. So this is the claps that Mellark sent me. I had this one, more clappy. This one, more like 909 feeling. Same for this one. A press shifted clap. Then on the second part of the drop, I had some rides. I put this punchy kick, but not as a kick. I use this one as a tom. I EQ it like a bit, and you can hear it. It gives more groove, like the kick and the tom together. Like. For the hi-hat, I use classic hi-hat, open hi-hat. I had my hi-hat, and the hi-hat that Mellark create, the groovy and bouncy one. Already show you. Okay, percussion. Mellark made an amazing job on the percussion. It gives a lot of groove and some movement on the track. And then some fills, just to make the difference between the A part and the B part of the drop. Okay, some crashes for the transition. Mellark sent me also some vocal effect, like this. I had this one. I used this one. Maybe you will recognize it. Then we have the stops. The first one. Then I had this one. This one, it's like the typical Morfolk bass. And I had this one also, same thing, Morfolk one, all together. And the sub, all together. And then we have the chords. and the fills chords group, if I can say. And then we have the mid bass, the drop mid bass. So Mellark sent me the MIDI files of the bass and I just tweak a bit. I was like, okay, I really like the bass he made, but I think the sound design can be a bit better. So I found this rack of mid bass from, I think, a Dropgun templates or samples or something, and it works really well with the track. Altogether, it works really well. You can hear. And then I had the sub. Mid basses with the sub bass sounds like this. Also, this helps to give more energy to the track. It's some gritty drop bass. If you put all together, you can hear the bass and then sometimes this gritty bass coming. You have some bass effects. It helps to fill up the gaps and give more energy to the drop. And you have some reverse synth just as a feel before drop. And inside the drop, same thing, just to fill up the gaps. I think just for, bass effects here on those 4 bars, and on those 4 bars you have the synth effects. And then you have the effects, just like downlifters, just some noise. Also FX crowd, I really like to do that. FX crowd with a pan on it. It gives more movement and energy to the track. And last but not least, the drop lead. So Mellark sent me this lead. So the lead was already cool. Just processed a bit, like EQing, some compression, saturation, distortion, compression. So again, and also some sidechain reverb. It's a trick I learned from Maurice West. It's like you put a reverb and then you put a compressor. You use the compressor as a sidechain to the main lead. So every time the lead is playing, the reverb is not playing. You have the lead support, just a small one, another one. And I was like, okay, the lead is very cool, but I think it missed something. So I had those whistles. Yeah, it's a Nexus, Whistling Monk. And if you go to the layers, you can choose which layer you want to apply. So on this one, you have the... And I was like, okay, I don't want the monk behind. I just want the whistle. So yeah, I take off those layers and I have only the whistle. Another one from Silent. It's called Master Whistle. The Nexus whistle just a little bit to the left, and the Silent one, the Master one, a little bit to the right. And it sounds like this. And it works perfectly together. So you have the whistle and those leads. And I was like, it missed something. So yeah, I had this preset, something more plucky. And this one. And all together sounds like this. You have the second break. It's same as the first one, but I had some guitar. So I had this one. Was cool. And I had this one. Just in the back. Those guitars together sounds really cool, really funky. Then I had this breakbeat. also to keep the energy. And for the second build-up, it's the same from the first one. And then we have the vocal during all the way to the track. So the vocal is from Vandalism. I really like to use the Vandalism vocal because the quality is good and is not all the time overused like the splice samples. You have this. Yeah, so I use the reverb effect. Main vocal. Sitting by the fire and telling stories. Thinking about the day. I pitched the vocal down, but with the little alto boy. So you have the main vocal here. Thinking about the days, you have the vocal back. So for the first part of the break, you have only reverse, main one, and the vocal back. Then to the second part of the break, you have some vocoder vocal. Then you have the low vocal. And then you have the vocal delay. If I put it with the vocal low. So the vocal all together sounds like this. Take me back to brighter days, like we're dreaming wide awake. I wanna. And here I put some effect, like a glitch effect, like not as a glitch, but like a tape stop, like. And I think that's it. And then nothing on the master except this and this. This one is for, it's like an endless mile. Same thing here, you use the utility. It's like during the build up, everything goes a little bit more mono. And when the drop's coming, poof, everything is stereo and boom, in your face. Same thing with the volume, 0 goes to -3 and on a drop, boom, go back to 0 dB. Then I use this utility and I check the master. And I click here to check, and as you can hear, everything is too much louder. So I use this utility, -16. Yeah. To have the volume not more than -6 dBs after for the stems mix mastering. Like this, I'm sure it's not going above -6 dBs. And then I export everything in stems and I send everything to a mix engineer and he does an amazing job. This is the final result. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like it and I hope you will share with everyone. And if you like the video, don't forget, thumbs up. Also, if you want more content, tell me in the comments. And if you have some question, don't forget, also comment below. Don't forget to subscribe also to the channel. You can activate also the bell to see if you want to see more content from me. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon. Bye bye.